Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are looking at the full moon. It's on December 4. This full moon is at 13 degrees of Gemini. We're going to do a short overview and then we're going to look at your sign and what's ahead for you. So aspects are the way that planets talk to each other, and with this full moon at 13 degrees, we see that it is not really talking to any other planets except between themselves, the sun and the moon. Now, the orb that I give for planets talking to each other is 7 degrees, and that I give for even aspects like semi-sextile and inconjunct. For a sesquiquadrant or a semi-square, I squeeze it down to 3 degrees. But you can see on this aspect grid here that while the sun is opposing the moon, they're not making any other aspects save one, which is that exact square to the north node and the south node. So I cleared off everything else off the chart, and so you can see this very clearly, how it's actually forming a grand cross. So a grand cross is 4 squares with 2 oppositions. So we can see that here are our squares, and then our oppositions, and that forms our grand cross. And what a grand cross feels like is that you are in perpetual motion. The one square leads to the next square, leads to the next square, leads to the next square. So here with this full moon, what we have is there's a constant choice over and over and over again, or in succession perhaps, which is, are you going to choose what is familiar and easy, south node, or are you going to do your life path but do the harder thing, pull yourself out of your comfort zone and move forward? And involved in this is the sun and moon, which is one side the moon is needs and the other side the sun is ego. And so there's a combat, this part of you going on that says, this is my identity. And so if your identity is the explorer, the adventurer, you're going to go towards that north node. If your identity is, I don't want to do anything new, I want it to be comfortable and easy, you're going to go towards that south node. And so from this perspective, everyone is getting this choice right now over this 2-week period of saying, everything else doesn't matter. What are you going to do with your life? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? And that will help you shift your identity and fulfill your needs. Now, the other planets aren't quiet completely. They're talking with themselves. So think of this as like you're at a party and you could decide who you're going to be at that party. Are you going to be the person who goes out and mingles with all of these people that you don't know, maybe finding new connections for a relationship, a friendship, some sort of business collaboration? Or are you going to stay by the punch bowl and just watch the crowd and stay to yourself? So that's the north node, south node, sun, moon dynamic going on. The rest of the party that's going on is these other planets. And one of the things that we see is this ongoing energy of this grand trine, which is starting to form at the time of this full moon. Is this always so beneficial? No, I don't think so. I think that it makes things easier, and that means that it makes the good things happen easier. It makes the bad things happen easier. So the bottom line about this full moon is that you're either saying, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world, I'm going to go do what I want to do. Or if you're waiting for the world to open up and the economy to shift, or for the phone to ring or something like that, it says don't do that, because you're doing that grand cross that says take action. And the way to take action is to go out and pursue what it is that you want. And as you do, you find out if that's truly what you want. Is it the north node that you're doing? Or is it the south node that you're doing? And if it's the south node, you say, that's not what I want. You let it go and you move on to the next thing. And you keep moving forward until this clunk, clunk, clunk of the grand cross turns into something that's smooth and moves you forward. Okay, Leo, let's take a look at your love and money predictions. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this chart and we're going to change the house system to a 0 Aries chart. And then I want to turn the chart so that Leo is on the ascendant. So this will be predictions for Leo and Leo rising. And of course, the first thing that we want to look for is the sun, because that's your planet ruler. And the sun, whoops, lost my pen. There we go. And here's the sun sitting this time in your area of fun, enjoyment, risk-taking. This is also about your kids or fertility or whatever it is you want to create. And so that's what's lit up for you this time. So for the next 2 weeks, it would be a good idea to look and see if you're having any fun and what you could do to bring more enjoyment into your life. Also think about taking some risks, and that doesn't mean that you have to, just gamble and bet the farm, but to step outside your comfort zone, to do something that's a little bit new, a little bit adventurous, and just expand your horizons a bit. Now, this might be something that you're encouraging your kids to do, and in this case, it would be good for then you to take your own advice and go do it yourself. This is also that you may see your kids being adventurous and taking some risks, or maybe they are showing you how to play. This is really good energy if you do something in the arts, if you do music or design. This could be a pretty productive time for you. This is also, though, it's about self-expression in general, and so expressing who you are and letting the world see that. Now, that grand cross that we were talking about, that makes that square to the north node and that square to the south node as part of the grand cross. And so the energy that you have here is that you can go towards the north node. Now, the north node in the 8th house would be about receiving help from others, rather than the south node of doing everything yourself. So this is your opportunity to say yes when somebody offers to buy you lunch or to give you a ride. And it may even mean that you need to ask somebody for something and then accept whatever, they say, well, I can't give you a ride the whole way, but, my sister can give you the ride the second leg of it. Or, I don't know, that's a weird scenario. So, but thinking about how you can look at the resources that the world has and how you can access some of those resources, even though you generally like to do things yourself. Now, when it comes to the taking risk part of that 5th house, going towards that north node, that could be that you're taking a risk in a relationship by revealing something about yourself and promoting some intimacy because you know each other's secrets. Or this could be that you are taking a risk when it comes to your finances by investigating some new investments or trying something new in your business. So we're going to talk about love and money in a second, but this is to remind you that you are this magnificent person who can go do these amazing things. And if you look back over the last few weeks or months and you say you've been doing the same thing over and over, then you're in that south node and it's time to move into that Pisces north node, where it is maybe a little bit fuzzy, a little bit unknown, but that's where the rewards are going to be. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, of course, we are very concerned about what's going on in the 5th house, and you have a lovely 5th house this time. This is really good energy for meeting someone new for a love relationship. And we are also wondering what's going on between the sun, the ruler, your planet ruler, and the ruler of your 5th house, which is Jupiter. And while we don't see an aspect here, what we do have is a sun in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is ruled by that Jupiter, so we have a hidden aspect. So that means that you can find someone even though you're in a place where you wouldn't normally expect to find someone. So this is like meeting somebody at the grocery store or the post office, even though you intended to meet somebody at a party, or through your matchmaker or something like that. So this is a time to be, when you're out and in the world, just be looking, just go and see the world in this kind of bright, beautiful sort of energy, and that attracts the person to you. This, because it's a kind of a hidden energy, that is that if you are yourself, then you can attract what it is you're looking for. Now, when it comes to existing love relationship, the love relationship you're in right now, that is a connection between the ruler of the ascendant and the ruler of the descendant, and so that is a connection to Uranus, which right now we don't have one happening. So that is, the two of you are not necessarily on the same page. You are both going off in your different directions, and that's okay. You know, it's not going to be permanent. It's temporary energy where you might be very busy with your stuff, they're very busy with their stuff, and so you're heading off in these different directions. If we look at this, you may be doing some sort of creative work, your partner may be very busy at their job, or you could be doing their energy and they're doing your energy, and so that could be flipped. But you two will come together very soon in a future chart, so maybe the new moon or the next full moon, and that's going to help. But right now, you're doing your own thing, they're doing their own thing. Now, when it comes to your money, we look to see what's going on with your second house, and most specifically, the ruler of your second house, which is that Mercury, right at the base of your chart, right in your area of home and family. And so this could be read very literally that you are working on some sort of financial project that involves family members, like a business or some sort of legacy property, or you're pooling resources together to do an investment. This could, though, be that you're really looking at your upbringing and how that affects your current money decisions, how that affects how you go after what it is that you want. Now, the energy of this Mercury is so wonderfully strong with that grand trine that is actually getting tighter as we go through this full moon process. So that is that if you ask the right questions, answers are going to be coming to you. This could be answers from authorities in their field, or this could be answers from the universe. So both, whatever the question is, maybe write the question down and then sleep with it under your pillow, or go out into the world and ask that question, and you're going to get some answers, and that's going to help you with direction for where the money's going to be. With an astrology reading, you get more information about who you are, your talents and abilities. You get to see what obstacles are ahead, and you can get a game plan for how to get past those obstacles and find success. So if you're interested in having a reading, there's a link in the description. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, we want to see what's happening between the ruler of the second house and the ruler of the 11th house. In this case, this is Mercury and Neptune. Let me get rid of that other line because this is our Mercury-Neptune, and it's a trine. And so there is some good energy here happening for making more money in your investments and your business over this next 2 weeks. This is probably things that you already started, projects that are happening, customers you've already talked to, investments you've already made. This is a time where you could be taking some profits. You do show a potential of accumulation of money during this time. That means making more money than usual from these types of sources. And then when it comes to money derived from career, so that would be the paycheck, we want to know what's going on with your 11th house. That is where the full moon is, so that's extremely strong. And then we want to know the condition of Mercury, because Mercury rules both your second house and 11th house, and Mercury is part of that beautiful grand trine that we were talking about. So this is one of your best times that you've had all year for asking for a raise. Now, of course, the full moon doesn't feel like it's a time to be starting some sort of new project, but think of the raise as being the culmination of the work you've done. So the focus should be, this is how much I've done and accomplished, so therefore I deserve the raise, versus it's a certain time of year, or you want to keep me as an employee. Like, that's very future thinking. You want to be harvesting from the past because it's the full moon energy. And with the grand trine there, yes, you could actually bring in the harvest. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I recently did a class of predictions for 2026. There is now 17 videos that you can access. There is a link to get access to those videos. I also put out a weekly newsletter, an illustrated newsletter. And so if you like astrology and you love black cats, this is the newsletter for you. That newsletter is free. There's a link in the description, and I will see you in the next video.